There is one thing without which both inner peace and real change become almost impossible. It is honesty with yourself. We may deceive other people because we are afraid of losing something or someone. We are afraid of rejection, criticism, judgment. And sometimes that deception seems to work. It delays uncomfortable conversations, postpones difficult decisions. But when we deceive ourselves, the damage runs much deeper. Because the moment we replace the truth with a story that is more comfortable, more convenient, or more socially acceptable, we slowly begin to lose ourselves inside that story. And at some point, we no longer know what we truly want. We no longer know which choice is right for us, and which choice is simply meant to preserve the image we have created. We can tell ourselves that everything is fine, that we're not hurting, that the relationship can still be saved, or that giving up our dream doesn't really matter. And yet, somewhere deep inside, we already know the truth. We simply don't want to say it out loud, as if that truth were a giant hammer capable of shattering everything we have spent years building. And perhaps that is what we fear most, because once we admit the truth, we have to decide what comes next. Many of us feel the truth long before we are ready to speak it, long before we are ready to admit it, because change is frightening. Sometimes it feels easier to look away from a problem, and we can spend years living inside that illusion, ignoring reality and silencing our own feelings. Meanwhile, the truth waits patiently, waiting for the moment we are ready to look it in the eye. And perhaps one of the deepest forms of self-love is honesty. The honesty to acknowledge our feelings, our fears, our mistakes, our desires, our limitations. Not in order to judge ourselves, but in order to finally stop fighting ourselves. Honesty with yourself requires courage, because sometimes it asks you to see what you desperately wish wasn't there. And that is where acceptance begins. Not agreement with everything that is happening in your life, not surrender, not giving up on change, but a willingness to see yourself as you truly are, without judgment, without shame. This is where healing begins. This is where growth begins. This is where real change begins. As long as we keep deceiving ourselves, we remain where we are. But the moment we honestly say, yes, this is my life. Yes, this is my truth, something changes. Because in that moment, we finally gain the power to choose a different path. What have I known about my life for a long time, but am still afraid to admit to myself?